Bishop Ludden would have students from all over the city go to the school. You were competing, in a sense, in the classroom as well as on the floor. You were competing with very good kids from around the city. And I think that is one of the things that definitely benefited me personally. The experience was so much bigger than just a small private school in the neighborhood. And it's one of the reasons that I believe that I'm so grateful to Bishop Ludden for that experience.
We came from a neighborhood school. There was no school like Bishop Ludden that John Bova, Tom McCarthy, or Jim Hefner would have ever got to experience, because there were a lot of good athletes and students that ended up there. And I think it set the tone in the early years that to go there was a privilege. And then if you look at it, I mean, you got guys like Jerry Wilcox and Pat Donnelly and Mark Waddick and guys that are in the Hall of Fame in the state, or certainly in the Hall of Fame at Ludden, that were coaches there. So you really had a special group of people that came together that played and coached and really saw it as a privilege.
We were not in a league. So
Right.
We were playing all over the city just to get competition. And that's one of the things that marveled about John, is that he loved the competition. He loved the big moment. And, he very quickly established himself as being one of the best basketball players in the city, not just in the Parochial League, but in the city.
We were traveling because we weren't tied to a league. And I think it gave him great exposure. And Tom's right. It took his competitive edge to a different level.
So John loved big games, and he was a pressure player. And one of the games that he really did a phenomenal job with, we played Notre Dame of Utica. Notre Dame of Utica was definitely a rival. And John had 20 plus points in the first half. And I think that's the same game he yelled at me for not playing defense. So I got a lot of John's wrath in my play.
The bigger the stage, the bigger the night. He stepped up. I don't care whether we were in Liverpool or whether we were in Oswego or whether we were in Utica. It was like a switch that he could just throw, and off he went. And you knew while you were playing with him that you were just there to play with him.
Support.
Yeah. There was no doubt in your mind at any point in time that you were playing basketball that you were playing with him. He was gonna lead it, and he was going to make that shot. If it was coming down the stretch, you were getting him the ball. And everybody in the house knew he was going to get the ball, and he never feared that.
He is a leader, and he challenged us on the court. He challenged us to be better, but he did it by example. He could rebound, he could shoot, he could play defense. He did all those things by example, and he challenged us to be better. And that's why I think he deserves to be in the Hall.
He was probably one of the most intense players that I ever played with. He was an outstanding student and an awful lot of fun to be around.
It was an absolute blast. But Bova rose above, and it showed at Bishop Ludden, and it showed after in college as well.